guys, welcome back to another Petrolic video. Today we're going to be doing some stuff to Kaz's car. What is it, Kaz?
Yeah, so basically you guys all know by now that I want to stage 1 tune my car.
Yeah.
And we haven't gone ahead and just done a stage 1 tune. That's not how I operate. I know some of you just go and do it and it's fine. You go straight to a stage 5 and nothing's wrong with your car. At the end of the day, we're talking about a B58, the modern day 2JZ. It's a very reliable engine.
Okay.
You're really not going to come across any issues, but that's not how I like to do things. In my opinion, it's like, what's the point of extra power if you haven't sorted out your rear tires? Or what's the point of extra power if your suspension doesn't feel quite right? It doesn't give you the right level of confidence. You put on more power, you're scared to go around the bend at 120, or you're scared about
120?
I don't know. Oh, in an Autobahn, of course.
Of course.
But yeah, look, I like to do things one step at a time. In my opinion, there's no point in putting extra power unless you tackle some other components of the car. So in one of our previous videos, we'll put it up here. We obviously done a full service on the car. It's got new oil filter, cabin filter, which this professional useless person.
I did like 80% of the work. All you have to do is take it out and put it back in.
I'll accept 18. But yeah, that happened, and we changed the spark plugs. The spark plugs was a massive, massive change to the car. I honestly think the previous owner of this was probably not the kindest of people. I think there was like 3 or 4 previous owners before me. It's just one of those cars, people rag it for like 2,000 miles and then they sell it on.
Oh, I didn't know it had that many owners.
It has a lot of owners, yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
And I got it from Bolton. If any of you from Bolton.
Shout out Bolton.
Shout out Bolton. No further comment on that one. But I think it's lived a hard life because I changed my spark plugs at 27,000 miles. And I think the servicing interval for spark plugs is around like 35,000, 40,000.
Oh, yeah.
So it was early, but it absolutely needed it because when you start up in the morning, it wasn't misfiring, but it was a bit rumbly for the first like 2 minutes. So that made a massive positive change to the car. And now we're going to be fitting an MST air intake. So we've got the stock air intake here. We're going to take it for a drive and put one of our extremely expensive mics in the engine bay. The things that we do for you guys, just to make sure you're able to hear like the stock induction noises versus when we put in the MST air intake. Now, it should give us more induction noise and it should give us that feeling where the car kind of just revs a little bit more freely. It's very, very minimal changes, but it should be something that I'm able to take in and feel. And yeah, we're going to be taking you through it and hopefully it makes a positive change to the car before we tune it. And
if it sounds good, if it does everything right, maybe they can install it themselves. Yeah.
And just so that you know, we're recording in the underground facility again.
Yeah.
Just off the coast of Norway.
Why is it we choose this place all the time?
It's certainly not because there's no reception down here and our girlfriends can't get a hold of us. It's not that. But look, it's cold outside, it's freezing, we live in the UK, it's raining. The only problem that we have with here is we have GoPros, and whenever we use GoPro with artificial lighting or like the sunlight shining right at the camera, it's really bad quality. I'm sure you guys have really noticed it.
It's a bit when editing it, I can definitely see some issues with it. Yeah. There's nothing we can do unless we buy higher end cameras. Yeah. Eventually we will.
We'll get that. We're trying to invest more and more into the channel.
We're investing exactly. But yeah, so there's 2 issues we have here: is the sound and the lighting. The sound, I don't know if you guys can probably hear it right now, is that buzzing noise. It's always there the whole time. Yeah. Hopefully I can do something about it.
But yeah, we're filming on my phone, so some parts of it we're going to film with the GoPro where there isn't too much lighting because the lighting really messes up the lens. In a shot like this, we're trying to use my iPhone. We're using it right now. So if you see any like quality changes, I'll apologize. We're trying to just get the right mix of.
We're still learning, guys.
Cool, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's go.
So, as promised, we're just going to take the car for a little drive. Currently doing the cold start up. We've literally stuck a microphone right where the airbox is. Just to give you an idea of like what it sounds like within the engine bay while it's in current stop form. Just so we can do a direct comparison for when we fit in the MST air intake. So, over here we have the stock air intake with the mass airflow sensor. We're going to be replacing this part. We've got some goodies over here. Again, if you don't follow us on social media, you would know that this box is quite familiar. We've done a nice little shorts video of it. So that's Has Motorsport, really, really awesome, reliable company. The guys that work there are really nice to work with.
Next order.
Great customer service as well.
Okay.
So, we have the actual air filter. It's nice, it's red, it's got that K&N fill. It's what you want to see, right? It's what you see in all the nice cars. We have some rubber connectors and all of the relevant parts to go with the fitting. Instead of the plastic hose, it's now an aluminium hose that connects the air filter to the engine. And we also have bought a new casing for it all as well. So again, we're going from the plastic flimsy stuff to some really nice.
Oh.
And then last but not least, we also have the actual case. Now some people don't use this to get even more noise, I believe, or to help out with IoTs a little bit, I'm not too sure. But then we have this casing, obviously got MST on it. And this casing will basically protect it from the weather, make sure there's no water getting into the actual air filter, because that can really ruin your engine, right? Again, very unlikely for that to happen, but better safe than never. I don't really care too much about some crazy noises. I'm definitely going to be fitting this part in. So guys, first things first, we're just going to be removing this clamp. It's held on by a 6mm bolt. That's how you tighten it. No, I was listening. Lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Yeah.
I think that should be more than enough. And then we'll be able to just separate these two. Okay. Don't want anything to go into the engine, so I'm just going to be careful as much as I can. So next, we're just going to detach the mass airflow sensor. So you can see this grey tab here. I'm just going to pry it up a little bit. You heard that click. And now I'm going to squeeze and pull it right out. And we're going to put that to one side. Just make sure we don't damage this. It'll be fine, Hey, there we go. So we just removed the sensor, and now we're going to actually remove the housing for it. So this is a T15 bolt, and there's two of them. And guys, as you're working on this, just be mindful that you don't want to drop anything into here. There's obviously going to be some dirt, some dust. Again, I'm trying my best not to move any of this into it. But it's not going to cause a big issue. As long as you don't drop a bolt or anything like that into your engine, which is probably not a good idea, you should be good. I'm just going to set this aside because we're going to be installing it into the new housing in a second. Okay, so next step is literally just to pull this airbox out. It's actually not attached to anything with like bolts, anything like that. So we should be able to, oh, Jesus.
I do enjoy watching Kaz struggle.
Oh, there we go. So I just wanted to see whether within the airing box there's like a bolt that we need to remove or something. Apparently you just put it out. It's literally just been held by that. There is no bolts. But it's pretty clean. Look at that. You know when Mighty Calm was, they did a whole thing with the intercooler. Nah, we're not Mighty Calmers.
We're not that good.
Nah, we're not skinny enough.
What?
Oh, please tell me I didn't break anything. Please. That's off now. That's off. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I just don't understand why I have this metal thing. Now it's just this holding it.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, Jesus. Ah,
Would you look at that? Is that the little baby turbo?
God, I think we need to take this off.
Did you break anything in the meantime? By the way, we struggled a lot pulling that out.
No. By the power of editing, it took 1 second.
We'll see about that. Depends who has the power.
So again, we're running into another issue now.
What's that?
Because this, we're meant to remove it, like 60mm bolt, cool. But like now it's a circle thing. How do I get past the circle thing? He didn't tell me it was a circle thing. He said a 17, I think. Really? No, none of them will be able to reach over that. Alright, this might be the end of the video, you know? Because
No, I refuse for this to be the end of the video. Look at the camera and tell me you
for once, yeah? For once. Why don't you do something, yeah?
Look at the camera and tell me you fucked. Can we please do this?
Why don't you bring the tools?
Can you please use this?
We need these. That's plan Z, that's plan Z.
That's plan Z, yeah?
We need like a bigger one of these. So for this one, I believe this is like a 17mm bolt that we need to remove. The problem is, I don't have one of these at 17, number one. Number two, when I watched the video, one person just put a very, very deep socket in here. I don't have a socket that deep, I just have standard socket. So it's gonna take us 10 years, but I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get it. Oh, just about. Tightening this is gonna be a problem. 500 IQ, bro. We're just lucky that this isn't a part that we need to... We're going to be installing this grommet back, but it's not going to be something that needs to be torqued down. So I think we're safe to use parts that we have lying around. This is just how DIYs go. Sometimes, because of one simple little thing, you need to go on Amazon, buy a part, and continue tomorrow. But yeah, so guys, we took this bit out, and we're going to be reinstalling this once we get the new heat shield installed.
Okay.
So guys, the next bit is just to remove this component of the air intake. So there are some clamps underneath this that we're gonna have to remove. Trying to find oh my god, look at the location of that. It's right in there. Can you see it? And it's facing away from me towards the front of the car. So that is what we're gonna have to, this one over here is what we're gonna have to remove.
Oh boy.
Just making sure that this is the right attachment, which it is not. And by the way, like, you know, we take off one clamp, the other clamp looks pretty much the same. Is it the same size bolt? I can see it.
Where is it?
I can see it. Oh boy, what is magnetic that we have?
Oh no.
Oh, the microphones. Give me a mic. Oh, this is peak, Gross. This is actually peak. I'm pretty sure that's the socket that we need. And I just don't see how I'm going to fit in there. No. Oh. Gross, put light here. I need light. Leaving there, stop moving it. Oh! Oh my god, that's Mission Impossible. Oh my days.
This kid, bro.
Put your mic back on.
Take this.
Why are we doing DIY? Why don't we just pay someone to do this stuff?
It's so much easier. Back to what we were doing.
Fuck's sake.
What was it you were saying just before you dropped everything and ruined your car?
Literally, your guess is as good as mine. Let's try this again, shall we? Okay, so all of that hassle was just to let you guys know that this is a 7mm. Moving on. So now we should be able to pull this out of its housing. Okay, we're going to set that aside. And as ever guys, we don't want anything to get into the engine, so we're just going to block this up. So next piece of the puzzle is fitting the mass airflow sensor back in. We're not going to be using the same bolts. They supply you with new bolts for this. So we're putting an airflow sensor in there. Now, as you can see, they are not lined up. So this is what it looks like the wrong way around. You can see that they're not lined up. And if you place it the right way around, like the legend that you are, you're going to see that it lines up. So we're going to put our new bolts in. I believe they're tightened by an Allen key, but I'm using a T-bit anyway. And it's a T15. That will help me tighten this. They just need to be hand tight, don't go crazy on them. So we installed the mass airflow sensor, and we're going to move on to the heat shield in a second. But the most important part, let me just put this to one side, is this rubber hosing. It's so important that we get this part right first, and we start to tighten the side where it goes into the engine. We've tried it another way around, where we first tighten this bit to the pipe, and then we tried to put it into its housing and try to put it into the actual engine itself. But like, we were really struggling, and I know we can't clearly show you here, but on the sides, it was still like sticking out. And if we install this first, we have a lot more control over making sure this is in the right position, and it's even all round. So now it's an 8mm. We're going to tighten the one that goes into the actual engine. That's pretty tight. We can tighten it down further at the end. So next part is getting this section, and we're going to feed it into here. It's nice. And now before we tighten this, we're just going to position the heat shield to make sure it's more or less in the right bit. And again, we have that grommet that we took out. So one thing to note, just make sure these wires, you're not like squashing them in any way. That looks like it's in position. I'm just going to put this grommet into here. This rubber grommet over here, we've already like hand tightened. We're going to fully tighten it now, just because we're happy with the positioning of all the components. And then one last one, we've got a washer over here, our bolt, and the other side. And we're just going to basically tighten this down, because we're now happy with the positioning. So now we go and we secure this grommet in place. This is actually going to take me, I believe, 5.6 years, because I haven't got the right components. So I can, oh, there you go, that's one.
Come on. One.
Oh, we're going to get it two.
That's still one.
Many months later.
A quick recap, we put the airflow sensor back in using a new bolts provided by MST. And then we done the actual rubber hosing. So we first connected the bottom part to the engine. We honestly done this in so many variations, but this was the variation that worked the best. So we tightened that up, and now that rubber hosing is secured to the engine. And then we connected this aluminium part into here. And what we found out is that we put it in too much, and therefore, if you come into this section where the heat shield is, this was like too much inwards towards the right, and therefore we couldn't get the air filter in. So what we had to do, we had to go back here, we had to loosen this, we had to bring it back up, and with your hands and with your fingers, like dig into these places and just make sure that there is metal beyond the clamp, so that the clamp has space to be able to clamp onto the actual metal. So we felt it, and we can still see that there's metal on this side. So we're able to tighten that. We came back over here, this rubber grommet over here, we've tightened that. And then we went ahead and we installed this bolt over here to secure this into. As you can see, it's not moving. And on the right side over here, just make sure that all of these cables, nothing is like squashing against this. We don't want to disconnect anything. I'll mess up any wiring.
And now,
the part that my ancestors, the Ottoman, been waiting for is to install
look at that balance. Look at that balance.
Balenciaga. Okay.
This is the easy part, right?
Yeah. Look, everything's the easy part when you're Kaz. Grass, can you hold this like that again? Yeah, just like that. Hold it.
There you go.
Okay. So now that's in place. Again, just be careful. We're going to tighten this up. And again, whilst tightening it, we want to make sure that it's tightening to the actual metal. So I can see, look, this is clamping downwards. Can you see it? So we know we're not making contact with the metal. It's starting to slide downwards.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so we're not happy with that.
What the fuck's doing down here?
Serious?
Look at little fox. Yawning. Yeah.
Just going to loosen this clamp and bring it as forward as possible. And now I'm going to go ahead and tighten it. And as you can see now, it's not clamping downwards. It's just straight clamping in the line that we were in. So, guys, as you know, we hid away very carefully the airflow sensor. You can see over here, there's this one plastic, like the thickest plastic bit sticking out. That's obviously going to have to go into like this section, right, where there's an opening. So that's how you know. So this little bit needs to go into there, like so. And we clip in. And we put this grey thing in as well. Oh, like that. Bada bing, bada boom. We've got those tightened, and now, to some people, this is optional, but I am going to
Wait, hold on.
install the MST bracket for it.
Because it looks so much better. What the hell is this, by the way?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a defect.
I'm gonna take that, Kaz.
Oh, I hate when these things happen. You know when you want something to be perfect, and it's like, do you go through the hassle of returning this?
I think it looks clean the way it is right now.
No, I mean, look, if you wanted to sit like this, you don't need to even put this back in.
I think it looks super clean the way it is. Just look at it.
Nah, it's missing. It's missing a little something. Let's just hand tighten these, and then we'll tighten it properly in a second. That looks nice. Okay, so what are we tightening these by? They look like hex. So guys, just like that. I mean, how easy was that? I think it took us 30 minutes. Real time.
That took 3 hours.
Did it actually?
Yeah.
Damn. Right guys, what does it sound like? So yeah guys, that was the DIY install of the MST air intake. I hope you guys enjoyed the noises.
It was really nice.
So I hope it came across on audio, but in real life, so when I'm in the cabin, yes, I can definitely notice a difference. And there's a slight change in like the ride quality in terms of it revs just a little bit easier. But those noises, especially when the window is down, yeah.
You could definitely hear it, and it sounds really good.
Yeah.
It's not a GTR flutter, but it's still good.
No. But like, yeah, if you drive it like in a particular way and you rev for enough of a time, and it's so hard to describe, but like if you throttle it basically in the right like way, in that perfect point, that perfect RPM, that's my best way of doing it. But honestly, in real life, it sounds so cool. I could definitely like, if I'm come to meet you, yeah, I can definitely just do it in a perfect way where you hear this noise.
Exactly.
You're like, oh, Kaz is here. This is going to go fittingly well with the stage 1 tune. And not only that, It's meant to give about 5 bhp more for argument's sake, okay? It's meant to be better airflow and give the car enough opportunity to combust. Yeah, I'm super stoked.
I'm really happy for you. It sounds nice. How much was it?
Very good question. It wasn't that much money, man. It was, I need to confirm, I'm gonna put it up here somewhere, but I think it was around like £280, £300.
£280?
It wasn't expensive. Yeah, and before we do the outro, just one more piece of information. Again, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. In the next few videos on the M240, one, we're gonna continue the servicing theme. We're gonna do a few other stuff. I won't spill the beans on it too much, but we're also gonna be making some cosmetic changes, which I can't wait to show you guys. You guys are gonna love it. So stay tuned, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you guys, take care.
Take care.